Can you believe it? They've gone down to the low rent part of the station.
This is not the low rent part of the station.
As soon as the name Ron Stuart comes in, I always think of low rent myself.
Oh, shush.
But a good time low rent.
Awful. Okay, let me introduce you.
Okay.
This sounds, you'll remember his voice. This is Ron Stuart. And if you're wondering why I decided to speak to Ron, I figure he's a legit subject for a good Taiwan talk, because you've been around a long time, haven't you?
Long time.
A long time, too long.
Yeah. Well, not too long. I'm still enjoying it. That's the point. I love this town. I love this city by the bay. Because I am from the city by the bay in San Francisco.
Yes, you
so
are.
I'm still around water.
This is where we're going to start.
Right.
Why or when did you become interested in music?
Oh, this is really funny because the fact of the matter is I used to hate to go to school in the morning because you had to get up in the morning to go to school. If I could have got up in the afternoon or something like that, it would have been fine. I would have got up, no problems, and just go. But in the mornings, I'd come up with excuses like, Ma, my throat hurts, Ma, this hurts, and lying. And she'd say, okay, we'll stay in bed. All right. And then I'll just come back and tend to you regularly. Okay. Now the radio is the only thing I had. Mom would not let me come in and watch television. She turns on the radio. Pretty soon, I'm listening to radio from the morning until the night. Mm-hmm. And I'm enjoying this guy on the air because I'm getting to know every personality on KMBY and Monterey. I still remember
Shout out to the station.
You know? And I'm Mark McFlanagan. Wow, I still remember. Hey, this was a thing. I got to learn to know these guys. I love the music they were playing. And pretty soon, before you know it, I'm falling in love with this profession. Didn't pursue it until after going through university and study and everything. But I love music and playing music.
What did you do in university?
I was a I was studying to be a probation officer. So I studied sociology, and I came out with a degree, and I wanted to go and help people that were in prisons and things like that because I thought I could make a difference. Because I'm the kind of guy that always wants to make everybody smile. This is what the direct link between that line of thinking and being a DJ and playing music and things like that. Right. So I wanted to make a difference, but I heard about some really sad stories about that from other people that had already pursued the profession or were probation officers and saying things to me like, Ron, I want you to, hey, baby, listen, if you got any emotional attachments you plan on bringing with you, don't do it, man, because you do a lot of work with people. You become a social worker is what you become, all right? You got to try to work with deviants that have went the wrong path, and you got to see if you can help them become a productive part of society. I said, I can do that. I think I'd like to do that. I can see the rewards involved. They didn't warn me of the failures until a last-minute thing.
Did you ever have a failure? Did you actually go in and try it out?
That's the thing. I didn't do it. I was talked out of it kind of because of the fact that I hope I could not stand. If I'm laying in bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, a call from a precinct, and he says, Mr. Stewart, we've got a Bobby Jacobs here. He says, you're his probation officer. Well, you want to come down here and fill out some papers for us and so we can begin to process and move forward with this? Really? I mean, I can just see myself being overwhelmed. I've worked so hard with him. I can see the disappointment would be crushing. So I stepped back out of that.
And then you became a DJ.
No, there's another step.
Then
it became, I wanted to be just an adventurer for a while. After I got out of school, I just wanted to go do something, anything. I became an iron worker. You know the guys who walk around on top of buildings and welding, things like that? We got a lot in San Francisco, right? You know about that. I became a skywalker. It was so much fun because it was such an adventure, Hope. I had such a good time. I wasn't afraid of heights. Right. As long as you got cables all over the place where you just hook on. You got a safety thing around your waist and you're not going to fall. You're not going to hit the ground. Learned how to weld. People who work in the trades are the most fun people in the world. I mean, Hope, big, burly guys that run around being crazy and wild all the time, but you have to have that kind of personality to be that kind of a worker. It was so much fun.
So from there, you became a DJ. Sorry, I'm not trying to rush you.
No, because it's all connected. Then after a while, I had saved up a lot of money because you make a lot of money doing that because it's dangerous and they pay you a lot. Then I went to broadcast school because I still reflected back to when I was a child, sitting in bed listening to the radio, and I wanted to do that. So I went to broadcast, Culinary School of Broadcast in San Francisco. I went there for a couple of years, came out, got an offer from a guy that just came through. This is fate. I love it. He comes to Columbia. He lists on the board, DJs wanted to go to Taiwan.
Did you even know where Taiwan was?
I had no. That's a fun part. I didn't know it. He shows me a map, and I'm not knowing where Taiwan is. I know. We call that Formosa. We called it Formosa at that time, right? Is that a part of China? No, no, no. It's the Republic of China. They have their own government. Oh.
When was this? Wait, you gotta give the context because you gotta tell people what
Oh,
year that was, right?
Well, yeah, this is the 90s. No, I'm sorry. End of 80s. Yeah, almost 90s. Mid 80s, almost 90. Yeah, because I didn't get here until almost 90. Yeah, just before. Yeah, 1 year. And in fact, that's what I stopped with the school because I was only going to come here for a year. And I was going to be a mix because I learned how to mix early on. I was going to mix DJ, and also I had on-air experience as well, as far as KFOG 104.5. Everything just comes back to you, And I had the experience of doing it, but I wanted to be a mixed club DJ. And I came here. Oh, I started having so much fun, Hope. Oh, I love Taiwan when I came here. It was crazy because the city didn't sleep, and I couldn't believe the energy here. I said, wow. Nothing closes here, guys? No. Why is every building right next to each other and everything? Where are all these crowds? What time is it? It wasn't the culture that I just came from. People go home at 5 o'clock from downtown.
Right.
Yeah. So I was like,
I want you to tell this story that you've told us a lot about sitting in on banquets and joining meals with other people, like these big meals, and you've told us about
the food?
How much you love the food, but not just that, how much you love the culture of having people openly invite you to sit with them, right?
Oh, and that would be on every year we have a full moon festival, right? This was the most intriguing thing because in America, people are just not, people are nice in America. I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. But the thing is, I'm walking down the street and I'm seeing families barbecuing on everywhere all over the place because we were working down to, no, it was Yangmingshan, right?
Yeah, we were Yangmingshan.
Yeah, I and even when I got downtown, I got off the bus, and I'm walking past houses and stuff, and people would just yell at you. At that time, I did not understand Chinese at all. Lai, 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 lai. They're telling me, they're asking me if I want to eat with them, and I didn't find that out until later.
What do you mean you didn't find that out?
I didn't know what they were yelling at me about, but they were so friendly about it, so I knew they wasn't hostile. So I just waved at them and kept walking. And I asked some people at the station next day, guys, what is, and I tried to repeat what I had to say. Oh, were they barbecuing? Yeah. They were trying to invite you over to join them. Really? But they didn't know me. I don't know them. No, Taiwan people are they're friendly like that. Really? Okay. I won't say no next time. I was probably rude saying no. Huh?
That's right. You were probably very rude then. They probably thought you were a big snob or something.
Yeah. So this is the first taste I got of Taiwan, and actually that was the beginning of the end of being an American because I didn't realize the difference in cultures was to that degree where it was so friendly and comfortable. And so I loved Taiwan so very much.
And then there was you and Patrick Steele, right?
Yeah.
You and Patrick were the two
Black.
token African Americans
Exactly.
in the station. What was that like?
It was interesting because the comparison was always made. We were always confused because, all black people look alike.
Oh, my gosh.
That's worldwide.
You look nothing like Patrick.
But,
Patrick had a huge hair. Because, okay, in the interest of explaining all this to the listeners, you and I go back a really long time.
True.
You're one of the first friends I had at the station my first time around,
Right.
back in the early 1990s.
I remember when you came in.
And you look completely different from Patrick.
I know. Well, the thing is, we both wore the braided hair at that time. And so people kind of got us mixed up by that immediately. And Patrick's Chinese was amazing. And that would distinguish us as well, right? And he had done a lot of things around town. He'd done television in Taiwan already. He had done all kind of things, right? And I just got here, and I was just finding my way around.
Here.
So it was an amazing experience. But the comparisons were cool because people would stop me on the street. Patrick! Oh, here we go with this. No, I'm Ron. For the longest time, there was a thing that was, hey guys, I'm not Patrick, I'm Ron. Can I have my own identity, please?
But did you ever feel resentful, or did it ever make you angry, or did it make you feel kind of like, oh, come on, guys, give it a rest?
Well, after a while, after I became established, and not until I got to ICRT did I get the distinction, though. Because otherwise, unless you're in the media, you're not going to get known throughout the island, of course, right? So yeah, but I never got mad because Patrick and I loved him. So I tell him all the time.
And he thought it was funny.
And he did, and he'd tell me things like, Ron, they'll be taking advantage of any girls because they think you're me either. That would make me laugh.
Okay,
Patrick, you're not special, okay? So we used to go back and forth. He was like my brother, you know. So
Let's talk about. Let's
that
talk
wasn't me.
about that was no, that was me. That wasn't you. That was me. Let's talk about. Was there a dark side? Did you encounter problems of discrimination?
In the beginning, it was a misunderstanding on my part to some degree. You know about the Darky toothpaste. And it was hey so I heard that for a long time and I couldn't understand what is that? Oh, that's black people's teeth. Oh, really? And then I got shown the tube of toothpaste. Oh no, this is not cool.
This is not cool.
Yeah, you know.
This is Ron speak for. Oh, I'm not liking this very
Yeah,
much.
and so because coming from America, it's just a taboo type of thing.
Right.
Where I looked at that and I was immediately kind of enraged. But then, Hope, I understand as I got here for a while, it wasn't meant in the same vicious fashion that I had learned to recognize as a growing up in America. This was something they were amused by. In one way, they thought black people had great teeth, and in another way, they just didn't realize that it would be something that would be degrading or anything like that. So I learned to temper my. Don't try to apply your same way of thinking as an American. You just got to look at it for what it is. At one point, I decided it was a little ignorant, and I could probably help correct that. And sure enough, when I did explain to people, listen, this is impolite. It's not. And I got debuchi. Oh, okay. See, I knew it. I said, this is not something vicious. They're not really racist in that fashion. They just didn't realize that it would be offensive. So I got over that. And being the personality I am, I always give everyone the benefit of a doubt. And even back in America, I did the same thing. You are a beautiful person until you prove to me otherwise. And I've always been that way. So, yeah.
What's it been like living in Taiwan for such a long time? How long has it been now? 30 years?
At least.
Yeah.
By
What's
now,
it like?
it's getting close if it's not, yeah.
Yeah.
As you can see, after 30 years, I've not decided to go back to America.
You're entrenched here.
Yeah, I've settled, I've gotten married. I mean, I can't imagine having to go back and leave Taiwan for any length of time to go back to live in America or any place else for that matter. Because I've become a part of the fabric of this country. I love this place. So I don't know how I'd be able to carry on any other place and still have the same level of happiness. Life here is it's just too wonderful. It really is for me.
Wow. Right. You were listening to Ron Stuart, one of my oldest friends.
And favorite.
And favorite friend. And I'll tell you what, that was a joy and a pleasure.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
It was really a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in early today and taking time to sit with me and tell me about a little bit.
And I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to do so.
Right. Now, you were listening to Ron Stuart, one of our favorite DJs. If parts of this episode caught your interest, you can catch this and past episodes of Taiwan Talk on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you download your podcasts. Do you want to end this for me?
Hi, Mom.
I'm Hope Ngo, and you are listening to Ron Stuart.